G'day everyone, welcome to Elite Punting, the podcast episode 1. My name's Michael and with me I have Daine, one of my good mates. We like to have a punt, we like to gamble responsibly. Sometimes we don't, but that's what happens. Sometimes you put more on, you get more back, is what I heard. But Daine is a real tragic for any sort of competitive sport and horse racing as well. I'm very similar. But a big welcome to you, Daine. How you going, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Pretty good. How are you?
Good. How'd you go on the weekend?
Oh, fantastic, mate. Yeah.
Caulfield Guineas?
Winner?
You back, Griff?
Yeah, of course.
I backed him
I'm
on the
gonna
first
be
win of the
honest.
three. Huh?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I backed it because my lovely lady said, "Oh, I like that horse, Griff." I said, "Well, I'll back it then." Because I'll be honest, I actually didn't think it would win.
We both
But
like Step Artie, don't we?
that's a bit of a favourite of mine, and I again, good run. But
Look, mate, it's got a will to win, that horse. It was never coming, but even at the end when Griff runs out, and V8, which isn't a bad horse itself, was
I
primed
like
for that
V8.
run.
I've always had a lot of time for V8.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really did like the party's run. So again, young horse, inexperienced, but it's beaten and it just keeps finding a way. The run prior was one of the best runs I've seen all season. Like
Yep.
3 deep, never on the track, and it just kept coming. And I was like, it's gone at the 400. No, it just found a way to win. But unfortunately, on the weekend, they just ran into something that had a better run, and yeah, what a run!
Yeah.
Switched off at the 100.
Oh,
Like
I just
I
love the way.
knew.
Like I reckon it gets into second place. Look, or it gets within a head of both of them. If Griff runs straight, he probably. Look, I don't know how much he would. How much? I still think he still wins. But I think Step Artie, he was still coming, man, when he had to check off V8, who had to check off
I think
Griff.
I think Griff got to the lead. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just an ordinary punter, but it looked like he got to the lead and he didn't know what to do. It was like he got there too early. It's like he needs to chase, and he just wobbled and stopped, and they had to try and straighten him up, but he just put too much of a gap on him. So I knew there wasn't going to be a protest because he did still win by a margin.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good to win by, what was it, about a length? Bit more.
Yeah. The last
And
three runs have all been full of merit and all been at good odds, like every time. If you'd launched into him the first time and launched every time and doubled and tripled up, you'd be, he would have just paid off a house.
Yeah, you wouldn't be doing podcasts, would you?
No, that's it. Look, just to introduce ourselves, I was going to ask you, who's your favourite horse of all time? Just one.
Oh, God. Known horse would be Lonhro. I always had a soft spot. When Lonhro was running, that was sort of when I was first into the punting game, and I remember backing him. I was a bit under the age but yeah. And I backed him at sixes, I think it was, and yeah. And by the end of it, mate, you were getting $1.50 about him. But so just that black shiny coat, like he was just Not only did he look good, but he won good. And with the Caulfield on.
The Caulfield Guineas win was probably, I think it was a pretty good odds in that, actually. I can't remember. I think that might have been 6-1. He come from last and blew him away.
What was the one he never was going to win? Was it the Australia Cup?
That was the Australian Cup. That was just like his dad, Octagonal. He had a tough win in the Australian Cup as well.
Yeah, because there was a race. I think it was the Australia Cup. I don't know why. It's always said to me. I've always said to myself, it's the Australia Cup. He was never winning. He come from nowhere. That win was just outstanding. Again,
it was a great win. I felt the field was a bit iffy that year, but it was still, he had no right to win with the run that he had.
Doesn't matter what the field's like, mate. Like if you're in that much trouble, and you come and win against, lower graded horses, still a good run.
Yeah.
Very few horses put in them sort of runs. Obviously, the Mighty Winks had that one where she missed the start by 5 lengths.
That was a huge run. Belle de Jour in the Golden Slipper, another big run.
Belle de Jour, that was huge. Another one, especially in the sprint. That was over in sprint. Things like that. Obviously, you had Chautauqua in the
Chautauqua 3 years in a row.
Was it the TJ?
TJ Smith, boom, boom, boom.
I remember sitting at cricket watching that, going, "Oh yeah, he's gone." The next minute, the grey flash turned up. He never ever looked like he was going to win that horse.
I'll tell you what. We'll talk about there's a big run on the weekend. Well, there's a few big runs. We'll have a look at the Everest. We're going to have a look at the King Charles or the George Main. Huh?
Don't talk to me about the Everest. Because I still think the run of the race, or the best run in the race, was the horse I backed.
Who was that?
Private Eye.
Well, I backed Private Eye last year after its lead-up run.
Yeah, I did too. And
three wide the race, and got sort of shunted out by I Wish I Win.
Its last prep was very ordinary, and I thought, oh, it hasn't come back. And then I seen the run a few weeks back, and I went, ooh, that's who I'm backing. Yeah, I thought it just had that sort of same profile as last year. And yeah, well, he did run an enormous race, 3 wide the trip, hasn't got on the track, gets bumped, still found the line. Massive win. Can't take away, from the winner. The winner was amazing too, but yeah, mate.
Well, let's watch the race while we're here, since we're talking about it. Might as well, eh?
Yeah. I'm happy to see my money go down the drain again. For sure.
Back to 5th, Private Eye.
There we go.
They're followed by Espiona. I Wish I Win, buried midfield. Hawaii 5-0 deep out from Shinzo. Buenos Noches, Mazu. And In Secret settles back.
Private Eye 3 wide.
600 to go. Overpass takes the lead now. A half on alcohol free. Cylinder box seats third. Inside the favourite. Think about it. Then came Private Eye on a 3-wide path. I Wish I Win back on the inside, looking for room as they come around the corner now. And the leader is overpassed. Alcohol free dropped off. Cylinder comes off the fence. Think about it. Strides up. Private Eye. Espiona trying to work into the clear. I Wish I Win's running behind them. He needs room. As Think about it takes the lead narrowly. Think about it from Cylinder. Private Eye. I Wish I Win. Think about it in front from I Wish I Win. Think about it. Think about it. Won the Everest. Beat I Wish I Win. Private Eye third. In Secret rattling home. Then Cylinder from Espiona for the.
I'm going to make a big statement here. A massive statement.
What's that?
I renege on what I said. The run of the race was In Secret. Oh my God.
Did you have a look at that, mate?
Buried away. Yeah, see, I haven't. That's the first time I've seen it since the live view. Buried back, dead last. Couldn't get out. Found a passage and flew. Huge run.
And I actually, I had In Secret not to run in my top 3. Got the first 4 because I like all of, think about it. it was always going to get the best run in the race, and it is a fighter.
Had a peach of a run, but I don't know. Think about it. I followed it. It doesn't look. It's a great horse. Don't get me obviously, but it doesn't look like.
It doesn't. It's not like it doesn't look like a champion.
No, it doesn't.
Just wins.
It doesn't do things that Wink's done, that Black Caviar done. Our top liners. But I tell you what, it just doesn't.
11 from 12, man.
Doesn't stop. Doesn't get beat. It just keeps winning. And I looked at it. I knew it was going to run a good race. I knew it was going to be there. But I just thought Private Eye would win. And probably does win if it gets a better run. I wish I Win was a good run. Hitting the line hard. I tell you what, I wouldn't have liked it another 100 metres further.
No.
Because I think I wish I Win wins. Or in
I wish I Win's probably the most. The thing that annoys me about I wish I Win, is probably the most classiest horse in that race. In Secret, though, it's had so many runs like that. It's so frustrating on the Cummings horses sometimes. Like you watch that Tomcat at the moment, just keeps running second or third, huge runs. In Secret, it's been short its whole career. That's probably the longest price it's been.
See that
10 to 1. Kitten? Yeah, Tom Kitten, yeah.
I've been watching it. Again, I do state I am just an ordinary person that enjoys betting on horses. But for the life of me, why are they not putting that over further? Because it hits a flat spot and then it starts and then it winds up right at the end, but it's too late. They need to push it over further. And
it looks like a Derby horse to me, without sounding like a bloody Captain Obvious.
You're right. And I think, I think the further they get, when it does show that blistering speed, it's going to put a lot of good horses away. They're running it too short at the moment.
Big runs, though, all the time, eh?
Massive runs, but constantly hitting the line, but not winding up to the last 200, and then he comes from nowhere. I didn't like him to win. He's once a bridesmaid, always a bridesmaid in my eyes. I don't like horses with them sort of statistics. They start to not want to win.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of one of them, but once they get him over further, I don't think he'll have a choice but to win. Because I think he's got some talent. Definitely got some talent.
Well, I started a new Facebook group to go along with our podcast called Elite Punting. Only 3 members at the moment, so this is all brand new. But I did put out my my tips on the weekend. And if you're doing unit betting, you come out at least double in front. So just so you know what my tips were on the weekend, I had race 3, Quinella 7 and 8. Forget their names, but they were the 2 favourites and their form was great. They didn't run a place. So it was a terrible start. I had Chain of Lightning to run each way. It ran 3rd. And then I had Ayrton to win in race 6, which it got up. So it had a bad...
Win.
It was a good win. I don't think it'll win another race this season, but it's undefeated at Caulfield and I think its track and distance was 4 out of 4. Now it's 5 out of 5, something like that. I had non-conformist because based on his history, if he does a big run the run before, he normally then comes out and wins, and then he falls off the stratosphere. But it appears his previous run was his peak performance. He didn't do much. Had Step Artie to win, didn't get there, and in the last race I had Amenable to win, and I think they rode that terribly, considering it's a horse that comes from back. I think they were afraid of the leader's bias in the way things were happening. For the Everest, I said you get on, think about it. And it got up, and also had a bet on Mr. Brightside, which was I a race we want to look at because Fangirl was absolutely brilliant.
I got tipped Fangirl. I got tipped Fangirl earlier in the day by a good friend of mine. Didn't listen. I thought
you love Mr. Brightside, man. He's your horse.
I've loved him before he was anything. When he used to win out before he come into town, he's always been a horse I thought had ability, but I thought if he didn't win, I thought Think It Over. I think it's Think It Over.
Think It Over.
I didn't actually think Fangirl was. I wasn't overly impressed with Fangirl. But yeah, mate, what a run! But something's not right with Brightside, mate. I reckon he's just been up for too long. I think that was a very tired sort of horse. I haven't seen any vet reports. I don't know if there's an issue or anything.
His last, I felt the last win that he had was very good. The lead up to this, that was his best run. It looked effortless. But Sydney, so we'll watch the last bit of this race and watch Fangirl pull away from him.
Now Mr. Brightside and Fangirl, here they come. Fangirl moved up. Fangirl takes the lead from Mr. Brightside. He's got a job to get there. The mare's going great guns. Fangirl. Look at her go. Fangirl. A big win in the King Charles III. Beat Mr. Brightside and my Oberon. I think Nugget.
So yeah, there was.
I'll tell you what, Nugget was a good run.
Yeah, some nice runs from the back.
Another horse I've been
runs. Kovalika was a big run too. The horse that ran on for 4th or 5th. 5th, I think.
I've always been on a bit of a Nugget fan as well. I thought he's had ability.
He's good for a place, I can tell you that much. And usually at 20-1 in that grade. But Fangirl, that's the look. If they take her to a Cox Play, I don't want to go up too early, but I'm almost thinking a Winks type run's coming up. That type of win. No, Mr. Brightside, watching them extend, he didn't quite extend, but he is a bit of a grinder. Like he just out competes and out beats horses. To me, he's like he's just a classy animal. Like he's won a lot of close races too. And horses
years back, he was
Octagonal used to win a lot of close races. You know what I mean? He's that type of champion, in my opinion. He's not a horse that blows them away.
A few years back, he was a horse that he kept running fourths and stuff to these top liners.
Yeah,
and
even last year,
I just said, just wait. It's only a matter of time. And then, obviously he's come out and done what he's done. But that wasn't the same horse on the weekend. He didn't have I don't know, like I said, I don't know anything from behind the scenes, but that there's something wasn't right, whether he was tired, just having a bad day. I haven't studied anything, to be honest, just off face value. He just didn't look right. Fangirl's classy, and Brightside done well to hold second, if you want to know the truth, because he was gone.
That My Oberon it won a Crystal Vase on a wet track in its second start in Australia. Nishan's horse. They thought it was just a wet tracker. I think it ran third in the Epsom or the Doncaster. And again, it was a nice, good track. Really fair, beautiful track on the weekend. And it's run a hell of a race as well. But Mr. Brightside, My Oberon got past it. And he's fought back and beat it to the line, which was a good sign for Mr. Brightside. Yeah. He still tried to win, but the other horse was just gone. And I think once she got pulled away on him, he's not used to that.
No. Well, not lately.
Look, I don't believe he's in the classes of a Lonhro or an octagonal. Octagonal was my favourite horse, and any horse he side, like Lonhro, like there was one called Hosanna, which did some good things as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, Ha and Hosanna. Ha, I think, was Gay Waterhouse, and Hosanna was, I think, trained by Hawks.
Yeah.
They used to go toe to toe.
Yeah.
Together.
She was a good horse.
Yeah. Yeah. They were my early days, mate. They were good days for me. I'd work at Macca's.
Clary Connors had I think another son of Octagonal, Moorwood, which was just as good as gonna be a champion like Lonhro as well. But so it went a miss, and then they put it to stud, but it was shooting blanks. So
yeah, right.
It was a good little horse. But yeah, the Big O and the Lonhro's. What I loved about Lonhro is that he won exactly the same way as his dad, and won more. You know, in the end.
Well, they were have a look at their stats. You bring their stats up. Their stats are nearly identical, mate. They're nearly identical. I'm not going to compare them. I think Lonhro was I think he had more natural ability.
He had a better sprint in him.
I think he had a better more sprint. Natural. But I think
where Octagonal, see, Lonhro couldn't have won the derbies that Octagonal won, because Octagonal used to grind. But still, I'd never forget the day when Shane Dyer was on him, and he'd come back. He'd had that that spring where, as a 4-year-old, he ran 5th in the Cox Plate. Saintly was coming through. Saintly won the Cox and then the Melbourne Cup. Octagonal only had one win in that series, and he sort of only won because he got fired up in the run. I think he won the Underwood over 1800. But Gauchi was aboard, and it just wasn't happening. He come back in the spring. He got second first up, and then he ran against Juggler, and Juggler was over a mile. Juggler was like $1.40. I was at the track, and Octagonal was the biggest price he'd been. I think he was.
Was that when Dyer took off early?
Shane Dyer took off at the 900 metre mark. Took him to the front.
Took off early. It was either going to make or break him, and he held on. Was that
it's race? The biggest winning margin he'd ever had. he held on by over a length. He won by over a length.
I know that race.
Yeah.
Dyer just went, you know what, I'm going.
Favorite race. Huh?
Dyer just said, I'm going. That's it.
We wasn't going to let Juggler dictate.
Deal with the consequences later. Well, there's no consequences then.
Well, he did something like similar on Viandacross, and it killed him when Mannerism beat him in the Caulfield Cup. We're tragic, Daine and I. Our memories go back a long time in horse racing. I used to like Saintly too, but I love when Octagonal beat nothing like a Daine, Saintly and Falante, and none of them were as good as him. I
was at school when nothing like a Daine ran. Being Daine, obviously. I had me $2 on it. I was in year 4. You want to know the truth? I remember it. And got home, ran home from school, and the bloody thing run second, I think.
Second in the Melbourne Cup as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, 3-year-old, yeah.
And there was never the same horse.
That was before my betting days, obviously, but I've been a tragic for a long time, mate, because I got in trouble because I didn't have a bet on for the Melbourne Cup. And I think I was in year 7 or 8, maybe or 8 or 9. Mate, I went into the office on the office phone and rang my mum and said, Mum, you need to put me bets on. She said, what are you betting? I said, I want some money on Freemason. Remember the old horse Freemason in the Cup?
Yeah.
Anyway,
another one. Another quest for famer.
They hammered me, mate. And I said, no, I'm just asking for homework. And I said, no, you're not. You're putting a bet on the Melbourne Cup. So that's my days of racing, mate. Back at school. Loved it.
I was the kid at the tab and I was the only person in there half the time, putting $2 bets on and $1 bets on. Just before they'd shut.
Yeah, underage.
And she's like, you know, you're not supposed to do this, you know.
Underage, they let me. They knew I was underage. They did.
Oh, I definitely looked underage, but you get away with stuff back then. You can't anymore.
Nah. Good times,
I don't know if
mate.
it did me any favours, to be honest.
No, me either, mate. I just to let you know, all the 3 fans know. Back
Two
in
of
the
us
day,
included are two of the we're two of the fans.
Mate, no one knows this. You're going to be the first people, and so is whoever the other person is. I would have been 16, I reckon. Didn't have a license, nothing like that. Scrape around, I'd go to the wash machine and get all the, 50-cent pieces of stuff, put in my pocket. I'd ride my push bike, 5Ks, uphill too it was, to the TAB. Mate, max I went there with, I reckon, in them days was about $3 or $4. And come out with with nothing. One day I won $100. I put a trifecta on and won $100. It was up in Brisbane.
It was worth it.
That day, that was the only time I won.
Then. Bloody hell.
Oh, mate, if I didn't have me pushy, mate, I would have got a taxi home. But no, I had a pushy, so on me pushy I went. I rode home, and yeah, the lowest I went up there with was $1 once. I had $1. I rode 5Ks uphill.
Yeah.
Done me ass on me $1 and had to ride home with the bloody me ass hanging out of me pants. I was filthy on it. But what was I thinking? Going up there with $1 to win.
Well, that's all I used to take sometimes.
Yeah, well.
I used to love going to the greyhounds at Wagga.
The greyhound.
Well, look, let's watch this Caulfield Guineas race that we're talking about with Step Hardy, just to.
Yeah.
Now we're all over the shop, but who cares? So let's have a look, eh?
We're here for a laugh, aren't we?
Out as well.
There we go.
Griff kicked at the 200 metres, about a length in front of V8 and Stepati. It's still Griff by a length.
The first
V8.
4 across
Griff is holding V8 for now.
What's this?
Griff wanders about. It's still in front, and Griff wins a dramatic finish. Griff has won it from V8 Stepati King Party. It's still Griff by a length of V8. Griff is holding V8 for now. Griff wanders about. It's still in front though, and Griff wins a dramatic finish. Griff has won it from V8.
I still think Step Hardy was a huge run.
What about the chain reaction of that? That was dead set dominoes.
Yeah, 100%. But the first 4 in the running for the whole race ended up 1, 2, 3, 4. Haven't seen that for a while. You see leader bias tracks, and that's probably why in the race that was won by attrition with that the horse that ran second, which is the Queensland horse, which has had a really good record before first up, Moral Beaten. I forgot its name now. And then it ran all right. I think it won last week. It was a big run second. But the Amenable, which is the son of Lonhro, ran 5th to Mr. Brightside in a lead-up run, then started odds on last race in a leader bias track too far back. Today it was a leader bias track again. They took him and had him sitting like 3rd or 4th in the run. He hit the front as they straightened, come out the middle of the track, and then was just a sit and duck. I think that horse Amenable should be a Group 1 winner. I thought it was. They said he over raced a bit. I think the idea was to put him more forward and try and they probably believe with the lightweight that he could take the race on and win. I think they've got a high opinion of that horse, Amenable.
That race annoyed me.
Oh, of course it would.
I had all the quaddy legs, and
it obviously didn't have attrition.
No, mate did. Told me about it. Too late. But yeah, no, I didn't have it. So, well, I had the second horse. Well, I forget the name of that horse now.
We'll see it in a second because I'm going to bring it up.
So I've not seen that race, and I just walked away. Then that was the end of my day. I was upset about that.
So Amelia's Jewel was the big favourite.
Jenny at the 200 with Amenable, and then came attrition further back. Amelia's Jewel, Pride of Jenny at the 150, then Amenable attrition, and then came Antino on the outside.
Antino, that's the one.
Antino moves up
and
to
look
attrition.
at the banker's
Antino
choice.
Attrition, they hit the line. Attrition or Antino, nearly a dead heat.
Antino was going past attrition.
Choice and also Amenable. They were followed by Pinstripe, Pride of Jenny,
100%.
Amelia's Jewel. I don't think she wanted to be here today. The inevitable corner pocket then Jenny at the 200 with Amenable, and then came attrition.
You watch this. Watch.
Pride of Jenny at the 150.
It goes to go past it,
and then came
and then
Antino
attrition
on the
kick.
outside. It's a big finish in the Toorak. Antino moves up
Attrition's
to attrition.
lightly raced,
Antino
man.
and attrition, they hit the line.
That's a
Attrition
big
or
win.
Antino, nearly a dead heat. Attrition's kick strongly. Photo third. Banker's Choice and also Amenable. They were followed by Pinstripe, Pride of Jenny, Amelia's Jewel. I don't think she wanted to be here today.
Antino was going past it for all money.
Yeah.
And then
There was your win.
just
It was coming. There was your quaddy win.
Yeah, well, don't know what it paid. Probably didn't pay huge if Antino gets up.
It was still, I think Antino was 6 or 7 or 8 to 1.
6 to 1, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the 100, you thought 150, you thought Antino was going to, near put a length on attrition. Just loomed up.
So the third horse was paying 200 to 1.
Not 200 to 1, yeah. How Banker's Choice.
Mike Moroney
Good
reckons that horse is always said it's a Group 1 horse. He reckons it's a Group 1 horse. I remember him saying it, and he's like, and he's never had luck. He's out the back, and just needs the luck to go right. And it's run some big races, massive races. I reckon it'll win one day when at 200 to 1 when nobody wants it to win.
There you go, guys. Gamble responsibly. Put $2 on every time Banker's Choice runs.
Yeah. By the time it wins, you'll have covered your betting.
Yeah, you'll cover your bets.
That's what we'll also do with the podcast. We'll probably we love the Melbourne Cup, Daine and I, as everybody does. We will probably look for horses.
I hate it. I can't win them. I can't. Nah. I do love the Melbourne Cup, mate.
We love it, but it's the hardest race to win. It's not for betting on, really.
Mate, when we talk about that, I've got a horse I've been following, another one of my horses that I've liked from the start. It's running. I didn't think it would run in the Cup, but I think it's running.
Well, we'll talk about that now, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring up the order of entry, and then you can tell me if we see it in the betting. Because basically, like early next year, we'll talk about some horses to look out for in the Cup, and they might be at 200 or 300 to 1. You go and put $4 or $5 on it, and it wins. You win big. Yeah. And it happens. There's horses that were 200 and 300 to 1 at the moment, especially in the internationals, that are now 10 and 15 to 1. So let's have a look. I've been displaying all the weights and everything like that. Let's bring this up. So can you see that there, Daine? Yep. We've got Vauban. Vauban's a favourite at $4.60. Gold Trip at $6. Gold Trip's going to carry 58.5, which is almost the way it won the Turnbull, though. That was your Melbourne Cup race, right? Like that's the Melbourne Cup type of win. That was a big win. Soulcombe's very.
Well, we've had this argument about that Salcombe's been a bit of a favourite of mine as well. Another one that I follow.
Me too. I've loved it.
Won really well, then had some bad runs, and then comes and wins. A little bit up and down, mate. That run with Gold Trip, people might not have seen what it done, but it never got clear. It was in the bad going. Gold Trip was in the good going. No interference, straight round. Beautiful. If Salcombe comes with Gold Trip, I'm not saying it beats it, but it gets close.
Let's watch the last bit.
Watch him back on the pegs.
Romantic Warrior brought towards the middle of the track. McDonald hasn't moved yet. 300.
Rebate.
Ozapinko up to
Look at
West.
him.
Romantic Warrior, and here's Gold Trip, the Melbourne Cup winner, storming down the outside of the 200. Gold Trip runs on by 2 legs, 3 legs. West Wind blows and Salcombe, but it's all Gold Trip. Gold Trip is bolted in the Turnbull. West Wind blows second, Salcombe third, and Romantic Warrior 4. They were followed next in the field by Luna Flare and Spanish Beer brought to
Let's watch it again.
Roman.
So pause it here. Salcombe's there at the 400. He has to dart back to the inside. Gold Trip.
He's been darting in and out.
He's at least 3 lengths off him, but in the Melbourne Cup winning part of the track you want to be in.
He's in the
on a truly run Melbourne Cup. That's how he won the Melbourne Cup last year. It would have been like,
watch that
deja vu for this horse.
That West Wind blows or whatever it is. It was a good run too, mate.
It was a huge one. That's it there. It had to take off early. It was wide the whole race.
Yeah.
It was a big run itself.
And
there's a few big runs in the race. And here's Francesco Gardi back here. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Little arrow?
He's a bugger of a horse, mate.
I love Francesco Gardi, and I think he's still a big chance in the Melbourne Cup. This was weight for age with 4 kilos off for him. I think the same for Salcombe. They get a lot closer to Gold Trip, who's going to carry 58.5, the same weight he's got now. Over a longer distance, it's going to be a very tough ask. Let's watch it again.
The middle of the track. McDonald hasn't moved yet. 350 to go.
No, this was Francesco here. Sorry, I got it wrong.
Romantic Warrior. And here's Gold Trip, the Melbourne Cup winner, storming down the outside of the 200. Gold Trip runs on by 2 legs, 3 legs. West Wind blows and Salcombe, but it's all Gold Trip. Gold Trip is bolted in the Turnbull.
Luna Flare down the outside. That's the run.
That's a good run too, mate.
Yeah. Up to
Luna Flare's back here.
Warrior. And
just to push this thing out of the race.
Storming down the outside of the 200.
That's another Waller runner. I forget its name.
On by 2 legs, 3 legs. West Wind blows and Salcombe, but it's all Gold Trip. Gold Trip is bolted in the Turnbull. West Wind blows second, Salcombe third, and Romantic Warrior 4. They were followed next in the field by Luna Flare and Spanish Mission. Duke de Sessa.
Spanish Mission was a good run too.
Back behind them, Ozapinko. Then El Bodegon right
Ozapinko.
Emissary Uncle Bryn Smoke and Romans, and back with those was Barclay Square.
Francesco Gardi, mate, I think lacks the turn of foot for a Melbourne Cup. Doesn't have that sprint that the horses of Salcombe. Salcombe's the distance is going to be a worry. Needs a nice cozy run.
I think it's a Caulfield Cup horse, Salcombe.
I do too. Yeah, I agree.
I think that's its race.
I don't know about Melbourne Cup. I like it. Francesco Gardi, like I said, just doesn't have that acceleration. Luna Flare, that was good to see it come back, hit the line really well, mate. That's what you sort of want to see.
13 to 1.
The horse I like's First Immortal, mate. I followed it. That's the horse I was saying before. I followed it and followed it and followed it.
So First Immortal won the banjo, but that was one of those.
It ran second,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was 2,500 meters. One of those weird sort of second.
Future History led all the way.
It's it's got a light weight.
I don't know. I just like the horse, mate. I'll be honest. I've liked it for a long time before it was anything, and it just kept coming up and winning. Future history. Ran well. Vow and Declare, mate. I tipped him to win the cup last year. I thought he was running well. I think it was last year. Obviously didn't.
He's still got a fair. I think he's got 53 in the cup.
I said to you,
he's qualified. He's qualified.
Only a couple of days before it ran, I said, "What happened to the old Vow and Declare?" And you looked it up and said he's running this week, mate.
Well,
and then he went and ran second to Alligator Blood and was starting to take ground off it. So, mate,
that was a big run in the Caulfield Stakes. That was a big run.
He's a horse. He's a genuine racehorse. That one. He's honest as they come.
They run him on the speed. Sometimes they pull him off the speed. He just, I think they found the right mix by having him run in, sort of high class listed staying events at different times to keep him ticking over, and then slowly bring him into a higher class race that he can be competitive in. He's run third, fourth, second there against Alligator Blood, which is the first time Alligator Blood's won over 2,000. But one thing I was going to say is the two place getters from last year's Melbourne Cup, both at $51, and they're currently sitting 25th and 26th, I think, in the order of entry. So they probably will get elevated. Well. They will get elevated. And still at light weights.
Well, mate.
Huh?
Yeah, he's not running as well as he was last year, High Nation.
No, they're not.
I don't.
Melbourne Cup can destroy a horse too. People forget that. Sometimes it can take two, or they can go off the ball for a couple. Like if they can get them back right, but it can take a couple of years to get them back to where they were. And those two.
It's going to be the leader, isn't it? It's going to lead out that favourite.
Who's the favourite Vauban's going to lead. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at its race. Do you want to look at some of the internationals?
Yeah, I'm not. It won by 7 lengths, but I still.
Well, let's look at its record first. You might not be able to see it properly, but I will. Here we go. Here we go. It's had 14 starts, the favourite for the Melbourne Cup. It's 7 wins, 3 seconds and a third. It's currently it's got 55 kilos. It is a 5-year-old gelding out of Galeway and Waldfest. Hurricane running it. Very good stats. So it's one half of its wins. But if we look at the type of races it's won, it's had 7 Group 1 starts and won 3 of them. 2 seconds and 1 third. It's 2 first up runs. It's run second out of 3 first up. Wins second up. Wins in third up. It's won a Group 3 as well. It runs clockwise. So Flemington is anti-clockwise. So it's never run anti-clockwise. So you've always got to look at that. It's run on a different leg. Started favourite 5 times, winning 4 of those races, I should say. And its recent results, it won the Ballyroan Stakes, beating Valiant King, who's also in the market. And it carried 61 kilos. That was a Group 3. And it won by a length and a half. Peking Opera ran third, a distant 6 lengths away. That was on the 7th of August. So that was its lead-up run into the Melbourne Cup. It usually has 6 or 7 weeks between runs. It won the Copper Horse Handicap 2,800 metres. It beat Absurd by 7.5 lengths. Led all the way. And prior to that, ran second at Punchtown over 3,200 metres, which was a hurdle. So it's a hurdler as well. Fourth in the Unibet Champion hurdle at Cheltenham, which is a pretty big race. And third in a Leopardstown hurdle over 3,200. So it can stay, but it's got a bit of sprint as well. There's a good reason why it's the favourite. But is it the type of horse that can lead a Melbourne Cup over 3,200 the way we race and deliver? I'm not sure.
I don't think it should be the favourite, but again, what would I know? I think you get
7 Group 1s for 3 wins made in England over staying trips is pretty good form. Like
untried out here. Like
we've never seen that class of horse though with those stats actually really come here in a Melbourne Cup.
No.
We've seen horses who finish on the heels of good horses. This is rated a pretty bloody good horse. But I think some of those Group 1s that it's run in were hurdles as well. Hurdlers have done all right in Melbourne Cups. There's been a couple that have run thirds and seconds and stuff like that as well. But I
think with the way it races, I think there's some good stayers out there that have good turns of foot. You've seen Gold Trip what it done. Weight's probably a bit of a disadvantage, but give it a good run, mate, and it'll run that thing down, I reckon.
They're running in second. Behind those to Absurd is still
running
a little bit short of room, though. Further back is Charging Thunder as they begin the run to the final half mile. Raymond Tusk and Scriptwriter continue to be the last two.
Group 3 race over 2,800.
Just ahead of those. So they're now moving with a half mile to go. And it is Ryan Moore on Vauban still the leader. Pursued by the yellow of Postilio.
And then the pump.
Shine, followed by Chilling.
He gave it a little flick with a whip, didn't he?
Ruling Dynasty is fifth. Hard at work at this stage. Get Shirty making progress towards the extreme right.
Responded.
Behind this, they followed.
Look, if I'm backing these other things, I'm like, something's going to run on.
He's asked to go and win his race by Ryan, and he flashes past the 2-4 with a 3-4 length lead. Second position,
the one behind in the white's the one that's
made
the only one really making ground.
Behind these is Chillingham up on the outside, but it's only a question of how far Vauban is going to win by. He's straight ahead of the others. Vauban has made most with Ryan Moore to win. Kemhan and Absurd. It'll be very tight for second and third places between those.
Absurd's the one who comes from behind
and then came Sam Cook and Scriptwriter.
Not too sure about the other horses in the race and how good a win that was. But it's obviously, like you said, it's going to stay. Leading, how many leaders have won the Melbourne Cup?
Might and Power on it. And he might be as good as him. See, the thing with this Absurd, it's side by Fastnet Rock. Now, it's a 5-year-old as well. 10 starts, 3 wins, 4 seconds and a third. But I can't really rely on these stats on this race net. I can't really rely on them because he just ran second in a Group 3, and it doesn't show.
We're having a pretty dry sort of time too, so if there's no rain about, I still think that's a knock on them overseas gallopers.
Well, that Vauban has one on good, there's one on soft, and their good is like a fast tracking out. So this is Absurd. 6 starts on a good track, 2 wins, 4 seconds, 3 on a soft, only 1 win. See, he profiles well. And what's he carrying? I think he's carrying, I'm not sure if he's carrying 55 or lower. I'll have to look at that shortly. But he won the Ebor handicap, beating Sweet William. Now, the Ebor, often these races, often the winner of the Ebor starts pretty short in a Melbourne Cup, but there's not too many that have done anything. And for me, I don't know too many Fastnet rocks that are going on and winning over 3,200. But he ran sixth in the Galway over 3,300, second in over 2,800. He won over 4,000 in a novice hurdle.
So he's a genuine stayer.
Maybe. But he could be one that profiles at big odds. I think he'll start probably. People will come for Absurd. And that will be Absurd if it wins.
It will be.
But looking back at where is it? So it's carrying only 53 kilos. Lunar Flare, look what Lunar Flare gets in with 51.5. Been scratched in the last 2 Melbourne Cups when I've been wanted to back it. She loves Flemington. I'll tell you what.
Hit the line well. Like
they haven't missed her either. 13-1's unders, I reckon. I was hoping for better.
I find the odds a bit ludicrous at the moment. A bit like the cost of living, mate. At the moment. I think
they have to make sure they always win, man. Like it's bookies used to lose at one point, but not these.
When it come to the Melbourne Cup,
betters.
What were we getting for Maccabi Diva?
Oh, the first time was about 10-1, I think.
Nah, the third time she wasn't that short, considering
3 or 4. Well, she carried 58 kilos in the last race. Still smashed them.
You've got this thing that's never ran over here. Yeah, it might be a good horse. What's it? 460. 460 favourite in the cup. I don't know. That to me, you sort of want 8-1 favourite. But let's see on the day. Anyway, on the day, there's so much money going into the pools and stuff. That should.
Well, Joseph O'Brien, he's got another one of these UK 3-year-olds called Valiant King, which is another one.
Yeah, that's keep a watch on that.
It's but they're carrying more weight than what they're used to. So it ran second behind, ran 5th in the Leopardstown Paddy Power Stakes over 2,400. Ran second in the Ballyroan over 2,400, beaten a length and a half by Vauban, the group. That was the Group 3. The other one obviously wasn't a group race we just showed before.
That's 2,400. Yeah, that would be interesting.
It ran second, just beaten see, this has got the 3-year-old profile where they'd come in, the cross counters and that. It's that type of horse.
It's that exactly. You can.
But I don't think it's as classy as them. I just don't think it's quite as classy as them. Second, over 2,000, won a 2,000 metre on a soft track. That was its maiden. Then running the King George Stakes. King George V Stakes, a handicap. Ran second of 19 over 2,400. Carrying 56 kilos. Second in that Ballyroan Stakes at Group 3 level. And then they've it's run 5th in another Group 3 at Leopardstown over 2,400 metres as well, carrying 57.5. Well, it's going to carry, how much is it going to carry?
53, isn't it?
Where is it? Just trying to find it. Just Fine still in the Melbourne Cup with 53. I was disappointed with its run.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Valiant King, so it's still 31st in order of entry, and it's actually only got 50 kilos.
50 kilos? Yeah, see, there's that, like I said, that's that profile that you look for. Definitely worth an each way bet.
Now, do you think Duke de Sessa was a big run the other day as well over the 2,000? It was finishing really well. Ma and Eustace, so it could be the You know, it could be the high emotion type horse that they had last year. I don't know if that Magical Lagoon's going to run in the Melbourne Cup, or I don't think Virtuous Circle is any chance in the Melbourne Cup. So we might see some horses qualify in these races leading up to it, like the Moonee Valley Cup and then the old, Lake Stay in that.
In a week or so, or we'll probably get a better idea who's in and who's out as well.
I'll tell you what I like. I'm going to show you that one now. This one I like a lot. I think it profiles really well. With its name, I thought it was a Japanese horse. There is one that we need to have a little look at called Breakup. But this one's another Joseph O'Brien out of Galileo and Amicus. Amicus was sired by Fastnet Rock. So Fastnet Rock, it's sired some stayers. It was predominantly a 2-year-old Golden Slipper sire for us for a while. This horse, 5-year-old stallion, it's only got 51.5, I think, in the Cup. Running the Irish St Ledger Trial, ran third of four, 2,800 metres, carrying 61 kilos, beaten 6.5 lengths. Won a 2,400 metre race, the Duke of Edinburgh, carrying 61 kilos at Ascot. 5th of 9 in a 2,800 metre Group 3 race at Leopardstown. And won at Dundalk over 2,100. And it also won a 3,200 metre race, which is on a synthetic track. One of the, not a big race, obviously, wouldn't have been worth a lot, but it can stay. It's going to carry a lightweight, and it's got a rating of 109, a time form rating. 12 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. It's one that I'd be keeping an eye on, and it's predominantly run on good tracks. Most of its starts have been on good tracks. It's had 2 wins, 1 second, 3 thirds. 1 second out of 2 starts on a soft track. Plus, it's had 2 synthetic races and won both of them. Generally, horses that can run on synthetic can generally run on a soft track. Never run anti-clockwise, only clockwise. And it's placed in a Group 3 from 2 starts, and it's run second in a listed race. Akita Sushi. So there you go.
Well, mate, that's a little bit of a wrap on our first little crack at it. It's been been good fun, mate. Tell you what, you're looking well. You look like you've been in a good paddock too.
Oh, mate, been in the paddock. Definitely need to get out and get back into the training.
They definitely won't have you fit for the Melbourne Cup. Yeah. Maybe 2026 they'll get you in there.
So who's your early tip? You were saying that you've got this horse. You're going to tell us who this horse was. I've been hanging out to know.
Well, the one horse that was, I like Salcombe, you know that, but will it run the distance out? It might. There's a couple of things, like you said. We looked at Lunar Flare. Spanish Mission was a good run. You can't look Gold Trip, mate. It's classy. Weight worries me. I think First Immortal. I just like it. And if Vow and Declare gets a run, I'll be having a small wager on it.
Well, it's qualified, mate. It's qualified.
If it runs,
it's running in the Melbourne Cup, Vow and Declare. Unless something goes wrong or they decide they don't want to run it, they've nominated it. It's weighted. It's qualified. It's like 17th in order of entry. It's running.
The way
nothing can go past it.
The way it ran to Alligator Blood was very promising. It's been there. It's done it. It's won it. It's older though. Definitely a roughie. But yeah.
So your early ones that you're looking at are Vow and Declare as
First.
obviously each way place chance.
Then each way. First Immortal.
Salcombe, if probably want to see what Salcombe does in the Caulfield Cup, and then if they run it in a Cox Plate.
I don't know if Salcombe will run the 3200 out. Initially 12 months ago, the horse I thought was going to win the Melbourne Cup's gone, which is White Marlin. But
yeah,
mate, like you said, it's a hard race. You got these overseas horses that we don't know a hell of a lot about. But yeah, they're my two.
We've got
3. Salcombe.
So I like Without a Fight too. I liked its wins in Queensland. I thought they were really good. So it's up in the Caulfield Cup. We're going to move to the Caulfield Cup now. We've got Without a Fight, West Wind Blows, which was a big run in the.
Yeah, but what did that take out of it? That's the worry with that West Wind Blows. Like I've watched it too many times. You get these horses have them sort of runs, and then they falter. Well,
they weren't out to lose on it, obviously, because he
look at Animo, mate. Animo had that win last year, I think it was. Or was it this year? I can't remember. One of the toughest wins you'll see going around. Then what happened at the start after?
Yeah. They're athletes. Sometimes they just don't come back up. But we've got Salcombe's actually the firmed in the favourite at the moment. It's $5.50. Without a Fight and West Wind Blows on the next line with Gold Trip. Not sure. I think Gold Trip will run in the Cox Plate, to be honest. I think it will miss the Caulfield Cup and run in the Cox Plate. And I'd be looking for it to be running in the top 5 and be running on. It's more suited to Flemington.
Trip or Salcombe?
No, Gold Trip. I don't think Gold. I think Salcombe will run in the Caulfield Cup, and I think that's its race. I think the top 3 in the betting there are going to be tough to beat. There's this Japanese horse Breakup, which is running 10-0 shows and the big Japanese races, just sort of behind the best. But he's
never heard of it, mate. Can't even.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. If they bring a Japanese horse out here, they're usually pretty good. Montefilia was
weekend.
Hey,
is Caulfield Cup this weekend?
I don't think so. When is
What's on this weekend?
October 21st. It is this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this weekend. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, well, let's get through the Caulfield Cup, and then that will give us a better indicator on, I think, if they're going to go, if there's horses are going to go to the Cup. I reckon First Immortal will run the Caulfield Cup. I reckon it goes close to winning it too.
Caulfield Cup, order of entry. Just looking it up, mate. Won't be a sec.
Gold Trip back on that run. Yeah, you can't go past it if they go there.
Let's look at the field of the Caulfield Cup.
What are you doing? Ordering Uber Eats, mate?
I won't be a sec. We'll bring up the Caulfield Cup. Not long to go, fans. We'll give you our Caulfield Cup tips. And what we will do is do a lot more, like provide tips, and we'll do some running, sort of like give you the tips and our betting and sort of have a little bit of a running competition to see who ends up winning. But here it is. So I'll go through it for you. We've got Gold Trip, 57.5, well weighted. Lewis, I think that's too much weight for the mare. And the barrier draws are all done as well. Knight's Order. You can see the handicap ratings there. Montefilia, Numerian. Numerian's one of those annoying horses. Runs second.
Those monophilia.
Yeah, oh, the
That's
barriers,
not it.
all these top weights are drawn well out wide by the look of it. Non-conformist, vow and declare, no compromise. I think it'll be at big odds.
This is the race I really want to see. I really,
definitely.
This is a race I'm very keen on, just for the sheer fact.
Oh,
You
this
get
is
that
last
many
year's
balls.
race. What am I doing? Sorry. Amateur hour. That's last year's field, by the way. Sorry. I'm like, this doesn't look right. Here we go.
It's a couple of the same horses, mate.
Well, I clicked on 2023 and it's just but it then goes to 2022. I don't know what's going on there, but I was like, this is weird, man. Why is Gold Trip only got 57.5?
No, not happening for you today.
Not happening, mate.
No. Anyway, it'll be a good race to see, because then we come back and we'll have a chat after and see what comes out of that race, because I think that will give us a better indicator of the cup. You know.
Well, look, here's the odds. So we've got Francesco Guardi, Valiant King, who's an Akita Sushi, two horses we're just looking at, well in the market. It's this weekend. You'd expect that they're running in the Caulfield Cup. First Immortal, Duke de Sessa. This is probably, from what I'm looking at, this is one of the better fields in the Caulfield Cup we've had for a while.
Whether it'll be better, I don't know if it'll be better, but they're very close.
It's going to be a good race. Yeah,
I think it's going to be a very close. I don't see a standout. Well, Gold Trip, obviously, but what's it paying?
What's it, $6? I don't think Gold Trip will run, but we'll see. I just think
if they get a little bit of rain, he'll run.
Well, he's carrying too much. I just think it's too much. He's going to have top weight, and be like, it's just probably going to bust it too much unless they're not planning on running in the Melbourne Cup. But I think they might run him in the Cox Plate. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I reckon they'll run the Caulfield Cup.
I'll be more professional next time and know my stuff a little bit better.
First crack, mate.
First crack, that's right.
I want to win, mate. I only got the call up at 6 o'clock tonight, so.
Surprised you didn't go fishing again.
Mate, this is in Sydney. It's me and my two boys here. So,
Right, you are was one that I thought was going to do all right, but it's still not a bad horse. But First Immortal, $26.
Get on it.
Get on.
500 each way.
Gamble responsibly.
Just give me your 1,000, mate. I'll be right. Nah,
well,
they should.
I'm going to box 6 horses. Trifecta or first 4 without a fight. West Wind Blows, Solcombe, and I'm going to throw in Akita Sushi and Duke de Sessa.
Yeah. And First Immortal comes and
I think First Immortal is going to be there at the 300
and drop off.
I bet you he's got less weight than all the others.
Let's see.
We'll see.
Good race, mate.
I like it. I like the horses in it. These English horses, I think Valiant King and Akita Sushi are going to need to win to get a run in the Melbourne Cup. Or run top 2, I think.
So definitely they'll be out to win it. So
we'll look at the Cox Plate next week.
Yeah,
because that'll be actually coming up.
And the Melbourne Cup, because we'll get a better idea. See
Definitely.
who runs, who doesn't run, what the big runs were, the flops. Plenty of flops out there, mate.
Yeah, well, I've been called a flop a few times on social media. So
that's it, mate. I think you're a good bloke. You don't let anyone tell you any different, mate. I've known you for a while. Yeah.
Oh, you're making me blush, mate. It's actually not me blushing, it's the filter. Just so you don't see as many of my wrinkles.
No, it's not, mate. You're sunburnt.
They used to call me the tomato.
Yeah, you've been standing out on the corner all day, waiting for your Uber Eats. Hey?
Hey, Uber Dad, where is it?
Uber Dad. Uber Dad.
There you go.
Oh, so you're the Uber driver?
No, Uber Dad Couriers.
Couriers, oh, you're a courier.
Company. Yeah,
Oh,
company.
right.
Yeah.
Courier.
You want a job, mate?
No, mate, I'm right, thanks. I don't like working
You can give your business a plug while you're here to our three listeners.
No.
All things pest control. What's
all 4 pest control, mate.
All 4?
Yeah, mate. Newcastle based. When this reaches 10 viewers, mate, I might get a call.
Yeah, mate. Well, there you go. Proudly brought to you. Look, we might even do I'll do a little sponsor ad up for all 4 pest control. With
all our friends and stuff that we'll get to watch.
We'll do a free plug.
Anyway, guys, thanks for your time. Sorry that we killed an hour and 12 of your time. That's an hour and 12 minutes you'll probably never get back.
Mate, if you love horse racing, you love talking about horses.
We just
here
for a bit of fun, mate.
There's some shows that people watch on TVN and that they get 20,000 viewers, and those viewers love it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, we'll tip more winners than they will. I promise you that.
I guarantee that.
Guarantee you that. All right.
I can guarantee you that.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thanks,
like
mate.
and subscribe.
See you all. Have fun.
See if we can get to 10 subscribers by the end of the week. That'd be awesome.
If you get 10 subscribers, mate, then we'll start doing some sponsorship.
All right. Take care, guys.
Click that like and subscribe.